Hey all, this is Sean, and I'm here today with the Hamama Energizing Kale seed quilt. And you can see that we're ready to peel because we have nice even ballooning across the surface of the quilt. And I think we're day 5 or 6 today. So I think I gave it a little bit of an extra time just because the front was getting a little more growth than the back. The reason for this is simple. This was sitting in a window with an incline. The shelf has an incline, so the bottom got more water than the top, and you can see that the bottom, where there was extra water, the seeds grew a little bit slower than where we got good solid drainage here in the top. So it's almost better to slightly underwater your seeds, your microgreens, than it is to overwater them. But in this case, we did get nice growth all the way across, and I think you're going to see that when we go to peel today, that things are looking really good at day 6. So again, this is the Energizing Kale seed quilt, and we have today the owl, and the for some reason that made it into the second video. And we have the temperature hygrometer, local sensor. Got some water over here to the side. I actually did add a little bit of water here to the side earlier just to kind of raise it up to the middle of the coconut coir. These quilts are set it and forget it most of the time. Where I have this quilt in the window tends to be a little bit lower humidity just because it's really close to an air vent. So this is actually an example of slight overwatering on one side, but the paper is, as you can hear, very dry. It's very dry. It's crispy on the top, which is cool. Now, the last time I did a peel video, I sprayed the paper and gave it about 15 minutes, and that helped loosen the glue or the adhesive that's in between these layers. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do a peel video without any sort of um, adhesive loosening spritzing, and I'm just going to see how this goes with basically cutting into it and peeling away. So here we go. We're going to cut into, oh, this is why I usually use my little awl here, but I will use scissors because that's usually what most people have. So you just cut just a little bit of a hole here. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. So what you have here is you just cut into the area where it's ballooning, and then you peel back. And yes, you're going to lose a few seeds, and that's okay. Not a big deal. You'll notice how here on the sides here, I'm going to get my awl out so I can kind of show you here. You'll notice how on the sides, this is already starting to pull away. The adhesive is already starting to pull away from the edge just with that little pull that I did before. So I like to get all of the paper away from the fabric. I like to think of the paper as a light water and bad stuff filter. So I like to kind of pull that all away from end to end. You'll notice today I did not have to actually spray with water. It just kind of came off except in the corner. Here we go. So yeah, pretty good job. Now, one of the things, besides the fact that we do have some seeds that are deciding to stick to the paper, one of the things you will notice, and this is what I told you about before, and something which you will absolutely notice when you get when you get into things, you'll notice here that in the place where it is growing less, there is actually pooling water around some of the seeds. You see over here where it's actually not growing very well. Um, It'll eventually drain and start to grow again. But you really want that initial germination to happen underneath the paper in the Hamama system. So it's very important that you make sure you get good solid drainage. Otherwise, you're going to have spots like this versus the other spots. So yeah, if you'll notice, I mean, zoom in, nice zooming in and out, isn't that fun? So you'll notice over here we've got nice solid pushing up against the paper growth. This is ideal for day 5 or 6, right? I think this was perfect on day 5 yesterday. This is not ideal growth. And again, you can 100% see now that I've peeled the paper, in this area and this area, a little bit over here, there's water there. I mean, this is like actual wet water, little pools of water, and seeds will not grow sitting in water. They just drown. And the nice thing about it is you can 100% recover by just getting some airflow or improving drainage or something. There's tons of ways that you can fix overwatering, but you got to get it early, right? So if you know you're overwatering and you see you're not getting growth by day 2, 3, 4, because really by day 3 or 4, you should 100% start to see good, solid growth here. If you're not seeing it, check for overwatering. If it looks like you didn't get it at all with water, that's an underwatering situation. That's a lot easier to deal with. Just soak it, soak it better, and reset everything to day 0 and soak it so everything turns from light tan to dark brown. But in the case of this is 100% an overwatering situation. And again, I know exactly what happened in my situation. Overwatering occurred because of the incline in my window shelf, and that's cool. Um, Something to look forward to and deal with next time. Just as a quick aside, I put these in the window just because I wanted to kind of see them, but there's nearly not much to see, and they don't need any light at all during the germination period. So if you have a choice between putting the germinating seeds pre-peel into a window or sticking them somewhere else, I would say stick them somewhere else, like put them into put them on your table or on your kitchen island, or just literally anywhere where they're going to get decent airflow to help that evaporation of the top water, as well as a little bit of evaporation on the sides and the bottom of the tray. So yeah, I think putting this into a window, especially like I have the inclining, the at an angle window shelf. I don't think that's an ideal place to put it during germination, the first 4, 5, 6 days, whatever it says in the card. Um, I think this would have been much better served sitting on a table. And this is like my 20th, I think, quilt. And this is the first time that this has really happened to me, except by design, where I was actually peeling things early or fiddling around with overwatering to kind of show how it works. But this is definitely the first time this has happened where where I have not intentionally overwatered, and I've overwatered. But again, I know exactly what happened. It's something that I can fix next time. Just don't put it in the incline in the window, and then you'll have a nice even, draining and evaporation. So that was my peel video. It's getting close to 10 minutes as opposed to the normal 25, 30, 40 I've had over the past couple weeks. So as you can see, this is a pretty decent peel. I believe that when I put this back upstairs in the window box where it can get nice airflow and quickly start to evaporate, I think after a couple days you'll start to see these areas here filling in nicely. But these guys will always have a better yield from the beginning, just because we're expecting to harvest this in 4 days or so. So these guys are going to be behind by at least 3 or 4 days, which means that because these systems are a bottom watering system and the water is stagnant, this is not this is like still water that's sitting in the bottom. And unless you're replacing the water a couple times a week during the period of the growing, that water is going to be the same water in the beginning as it is in the end. So you've really got to make sure that you're using filtered water that doesn't have a lot of stuff in it, especially bacteria, mold, mildew. You really want to have clean, fresh water, because you're eating. The plants take the stuff from the water, and then they use it to grow, and then you're going to eat that stuff that's in the water. So definitely filter water before you put it into the system. But again, this is a bottom watering system. It's kind of like a cross between a hydroponic and a soil, because you've got the coconut coir in the bottom that kind of acts like a neutral base for growing. And it kind of sits in the water, as opposed to like a true hydroponic system where the water is sent through a filter and kind of squirted over the roots or whatever. So you definitely want to make sure, because your only input into this system, the primary input, the input that the seeds are going to have to deal with for the majority of the growing period minus light, which isn't really crazy that necessary just because it's, they don't need a lot of light to grow. But it's the water. It's the water. So it's the quantity of the water and the quality of the water. And the quality of the water, just get a filter. Super simple. The quantity of the water, add to the fill line, put the seed quilt in, only refill it up to the middle of the quar if you feel the need to refill. That's it. It's super simple. And again, once I get this overwatering situation dealt with by putting it back upstairs, where you've got the airflow, by the fans and by the air vent, everything will be much better in a few days, and I will share pictures and or video of that, once that happens. But hopefully this has been informative. Again, if you have any questions, concerns, comments, please leave them either here by the video, which I'm starting to post on YouTube, so people can always have access to the videos, and then posting links back to the Hamama Greens group, because I want to make sure that people in Hamama see these as well. But I'm definitely starting to post these to YouTube just so we can make sure that everybody has access to the videos. I know that I had disabled my account for a bit and all the videos went away and everybody was freaking out. So I didn't want to freak everybody out. So yeah, we're going to start seeing more of these videos over on the YouTube side of things. I'm going to make those public so everybody can see them. And please, if there's anything you would like to see, leave comments here or over on Facebook, and I will try to get more videos done in the future. I'm actually thinking of making these shorter videos, more like 5-6 minutes long, if I can, to kind of just illustrate specific points. Um, and that way we can kind of keep on topic. And okay, this is a peel, this is a soak, this is how we harvest, here's how we look for water levels and that kind of thing. So hopefully we can start doing more troubleshooting videos and a frequently asked questions list, because that's something that people in the Hamama Friends group seem to enjoy, is frequently asked questions, and videos that kind of say, here's how you do it. It is really simple, and I always feel weird doing videos about something that's so simple, but um, because this is my 20th time, I believe 20th time doing this, it does get easier every time you do it. And I do recommend folks, if you're concerned about the shipment delays that we've been seeing on the Hamama side, just go ahead and order a year's supply. You'll get 36 of the quilts, and that gives you a full year worth of the quilts. So you only have to have one shipping delay, as opposed to however many, if you're getting them once a month or whatever, it's, or every other week or something. I would say go ahead and order everything you want in one big go, especially when we're in the middle of this pandemic and you just know that literally every company out there is experiencing the exact same problem that Hamama is. So do yourself and Hamama a favor and just order one of the larger packages. Now, you don't have to order like you know, the whole 36-month 1 year there, or 36 quilt 12-month 1 year thing. You can go and get like a 9 pack or something, or a 12 pack, and they have different. But I do know that if you get the 36, you generally save money because of the lower cost per quilt. So if you do find that you get the quilt and you love the Hamama system, but you're a little bit frustrated by the delays, shipping delays, just go ahead and order a year. I mean, it's 100 something bucks, but it's a full year worth of greens, and all you have to do is literally add water, and these things grow. So yeah, I would definitely look into purchasing a year if you're cool with that. And I think that's pretty much it. 14 minutes. It's a longer video, but not like into the 30-40 minutes we had for the last video. So hopefully you guys appreciate this. Please, again, any questions, concerns, comments, please go ahead and leave them here on YouTube or over on the Facebook Hamama Friends group. Thank you.